I don't care how many demons he's fought in how many hells.
Fuck you.
He's never fought us.
Fuck you.
Not as united.
Moment,
I wept in my pants and in my face.
Oh my God.
the moment he said that, I went, that's what Spencer hated.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's how a anti-vaxxer purposely gave me autism.
Purposefully?
I resisted.
On purpose. Because
it's different.
I'm all for vaccines. COVID vaccine, all of it. Give it to me. I'll even be on the spectrum for it. I don't give a shit. It'll make socially distancing easier.
What is going on?
I always thought you were
when you have
honest.
autism, you have like a personal bubble, and you're like, don't touch me. I always thought I was kind of on the spectrum.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Look at my eyes.
No. Just because you have tiny eyes, that doesn't mean anything.
He does not.
does.
You can't. Don't say that.
They're beady. I have beady eyes. I have beady eyes and a fat tongue.
Yeah, Betty Davis. It's Betty. Damn it.
Anyways, welcome to another episode of the Beacon House Podcast. Thanks
here
for
we go.
ruining my
Great.
funny beginning, Hunter. God.
This is the Easter episode. It's already off to a good start.
Oh.
Hunter's back, apparently.
Yeah.
Who's Hunter?
We resurrected him from the dead.
Christ came back from the dead. Zack Snyder's Justice League came back from the dead.
Oh.
And Hunter was reborn out of a pile of sugar.
Jesus.
All powdery. He looked like Sean Patrick Flannery from Powder.
Oh.
Out. Ooh, that's pretty bad.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Did your mom get struck by lightning while you were in the birthing canal?
It would explain some things.
It would.
Certainly. But, who could tell?
The diabetes, for
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I thought you meant my autism, but
So do you guys want to talk about the movies or this has been a big build-up. We've been talking about this for weeks. It's coming.
We have.
But
The
it's also
movies?
Easter. How you guys want to go?
Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut first.
Hit it.
Well, actually, we should do Kong vs. Godzilla because
That'll
then
take 2
Snyder
seconds.
Cut has the Bible talk in it, which
Yeah.
will lead into Easter.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
So, now, here's what I
Segues.
think. I think we should go in this order because everybody's waiting to hear what Hunter thinks
Yeah.
about these movies. And then I think everybody probably thinks I'm not going to like them, but you don't know. I've got my notes. So we should go Hunter, me, then Casey.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
fine.
and then Pan can be here of consult. So your
And she
job,
can go, uh-huh.
I'm pointing to Frying Pan now. Your job is to ask questions of us
I will.
as we're describing our
Ask him
things.
like you haven't seen the movie.
That should be
That
easy.
should be
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. First, real quick before we get started.
Just act like you didn't have HBO Max.
Before we get started, we've been trying to tell you, hey, go ahead and watch them. It'll be fun to talk about. And you're like, nope. I want you to describe your reasons for not wanting to see them with Hunter here.
Well,
because he'll appreciate this.
Hunter knows my reasons.
I do.
Let
He
the
does.
audience. Let the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, we
well,
wanna-
they-
Sorry, yeah, it's a
okay.
visual podcast. Show them.
For the audience, I'll paint a picture for you. I didn't feel like watching the Snyder Cut because I don't feel like being disappointed by DC yet again. I also didn't feel like watching Kong versus Godzilla because I'm not caught up on any of the lore, any of the characters. I don't know what's going on, and I didn't feel like spending 6 hours of my life on either one.
It
Turns
would have
out-
been 5 hours and 35 minutes, but whatever.
Turns out that actually slightly mattered with Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, there was actually some things you'd be like, huh? If you didn't watch the other
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, and that would have been another, 10 hours I would have had to spend to try to catch up with that.
10?
Minimum.
5.5 hours.
Okay, doesn't matter. Go. Nobody gives a fuck. Just go. Talk about Kong Godzilla, Hunter. This was big for you.
Yeah, it was huge.
You were super waiting on this.
It was bigger on IMAX.
You wanted this big. You did see it in the theater.
I did.
Okay.
I risked COVID for it and don't regret. It was an awesome movie. It was nowhere near as dumb as I think people say it is. And it also, as I discussed with Casey and you, had a problem where all of its clever human story ideas that most people don't care about were thrown at the wall. And before they even waited to see if it stuck, they just moved on to something else. So,
You thought those human moments were clever in that movie?
yeah.
Okay.
No. So here's the thing. They're buried in there. It's like literally the dude went, oh, dude, people that spend too much time worrying about this are going to see what I'm doing, and that's good enough. So just there, like the Jane Goodall character, and you're like, I get gorillas in the mist, and that's why like she's Sigourney Weaver in this movie. But you got to do more than put her badly photoshopped face on a Time magazine cover to get that story point across. And like,
Look how intense he is. He's holding on to the desk. Like, he's holding this bitch
Rin
down.
Serizawa, like, why is he related to Ken Watanabe's character if you're not going to talk about it? You can't just name drop it and never have everybody go, oh, so he's related to Ken Watanabe? I wonder. No one cares. Nobody cares, except that it's interesting, but it's not
The
interesting.
pilot was?
Yeah.
Really?
Rin Serizawa.
Okay.
See, that's how I felt, though.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
But it should. That's my
let
point.
them
It
fight,
doesn't matter.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the important thing, though, is the movie as dumb as people say it is? No. Is it dumb? Yes. Are the monster fights worth every second of it?
Yeah, they
Oh, yeah, they are.
It's like eyegasm.
Yeah, especially when the Cloverfield monster came out of the clouds at the end and just saved that sequel. That's a different movie.
Now, I want to ask you, how do you feel about Adam Wingard breaking the Toho #1 rule with Godzilla and Toho actually being okay with it because he did it in a tasteful way?
Explain that.
Toho has a rule that Godzilla is not allowed to show expression. Like, he's never allowed to, like, emote with his face to show whether he's mad or not mad. So you can't ever tell if he's doing things to be the bad guy or the good guy or vice versa. And in this one, Godzilla had a lot of emoting with his face that you could tell, like, you basically could tell what he was thinking by looking at his face when he's looking like Godzilla or the Apex, place in Pensacola. And Toho, afterwards, Toho was like, it's fine. He actually did it. He did it justice.
To be fair, a lot of people get that look when they go to Pensacola.
That's true.
Yeah. So one, I actually never heard that rule, but it does kind of make sense because the 90s Godzilla films, he's quite expressive, but not in any kind of readable way. Just like the suit would make facial expressions. And based on whether or not you were me and 7 years old and had no friends, you'd sit there and go, what is he doing? And then figure it out. I think it was worth it. Watching Godzilla like nod a little bit, like at the end with Kong and being like, you're okay. Like, I get it. You're okay. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry, guys. But the whole world's seen it already. That was cool. I thought Kong was really emotive, which is normal for him, but, like, better than ever. That was cool. Mechagodzilla, spoilers, laughed at one point in the movie, which I didn't catch until second viewing with you. Yeah. Dumb? Yes. Awesome? Also, yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we saw the last movie and we came out? Mm-hmm. And you were like, it was real loud. I don't know quite how to feel about how silly it was. And I was like, it made me feel like a kid again playing with my G.I. Joes on one side of the room and my Godzilla toys in Lego City on the other. My stories made more sense than this film story, but I got the same joy out of it.
Okay. Well, I hear it's doing well. Like, at least it surpassed already in terms of streams. It's way past Wonder Woman 84, which, again, that's not a very high bar, but, like, it's apparently doing well. So regardless of what any of us think about it, it has succeeded, apparently.
I saw an article today. It broke pandemic box office records.
Yeah, they got it. They got every
48
qualifier.
million.
Damn.
It's like asterisk pandemic box office record. So now Avengers have another thing to beat. They have to get everybody sick and then release another Avengers movie.
Yeah. 48 million domestically. Internationally, it's doing like 130 million this past weekend or something.
Which means there will be another one.
Yep.
And I told you what I want my next 3 Godzilla movies to be.
Yeah, lay it on them. It's great.
So my next 3 I want is Kong versus Biollante in the Hollow Earth, because Biollante, I mean, fucking why not? Giant fucking alligator flower monster.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
No idea.
You
No
are.
idea.
But I
Look,
will
while
loan it to
we
you
keep-
both.
while
But the
keep
fact
talking
that
about
it's
it.
called Biollante and it's a flower monster,
Yeah.
that pretty much...
What
that's
did he
all
say? He said an alligator flower monster.
Guys,
That's about all I need to know.
Biollante is a rose that has the spirit of a scientist's dead daughter in it, mixed with Godzilla cells from the 1984 film. They all three had a weird monster baby, and it
That's
turned
that's
into
Biollante.
that.
What an exciting idea.
It's amazing.
And I think it would fit perfectly in Hollow Earth.
I wish Frying Pan was recording her own face for content right now
that's
because
true.
she wants that movie.
So that'd be the next movie is Kong versus Biollante, no Godzilla, just another Kong movie. And then maybe have Mothra show up, maybe have Kong find
have
like
some
another
crossover.
Mothra eggs or, whatever.
Mothra.
Yeah.
That's a great...
Bring that sexy bitch back in. So,
I know who Mothra is. I can account for.
It's a big flying
Proud
moth.
of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It gets in your underwear drawer. You're screwed.
She's a butterfly, you jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next
That
movie,
explains the name.
the next movie I want is a Godzilla movie.
Yes.
And it's Godzilla versus Gigan, another space
please.
monster. And this is Gigan.
Gigan is
Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah.
a cockroach chicken cyborg.
Why do
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that in?
Then
It's been in a lot of tropes.
Okay.
Then what I
amazing.
want for the Avenger style movie in like 5 years is a remake of Destroy All Monsters, and have like all the kaiju that they can possibly fit show up and take on Destroya, who is I'm hoping would be like just fucking massive. Like yeah, that's Destroya.
That's cool.
And that's like the Thanos of the kaiju world.
Yep.
And that's what I want.
Are there
Let me ask,
stuns?
Hunter, you might know that. Are they ever going to integrate the giant like?
Pacific Rim.
No, the robot, like not the Jaegers but like the Shogun Warriors.
That's a different
Power Rangers?
But it's a different thing. But they were huge giant robots, and they were
Yeah.
very massively popular in Japanese anime. And they did exist in the Godzilla universe, but now they also existed in the Marvel universe.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
How do you know the Godzilla thing? I don't know.
'Cause I was a kid.
My brain is broken.
the giant
right now.
robots. There was. I'm going to fuck this up, but there was like Guy King, Raiden. Mazinga, there was a whole bunch of them. And
Mazinger G,
like
or C.
their hands would fly off.
Yeah,
and there
yeah,
was
yeah.
all this different stuff, and the Fantastic Four, and
No,
them-
I know the robots you're talking about. I didn't know that they ever.
yeah, Godzilla was actually part of the toy series.
Yeah, that's
them.
cool.
So, like
They
all
should
my
do
friends,
it.
we had big toys when we were little, but everybody had those three, and then Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like it was all part of a series, and they were in comics together too. Do you think they're ever going to show up in the Godzilla universe, or you think?
I mean, doubtful, but it'd be great. Legendary, all they do is produce the movies, and then Warner Brothers distributes.
yeah.
They almost did Gamera versus Godzilla back in the 90s, and then Toho was stupid about it. They should just get the rights to Gamera and throw him in there too.
Because I'd be so on board if Shogun Warriors showed up.
They might,
I
dude.
think Toho's starting to they're starting to get it. They're like, oh, America really does love giant monster movies.
Yeah, we just let them like do what they want with it. We get money.
Yeah,
It's working.
it's working.
Okay, let me give you my Godzilla notes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, these are just again.
name is Optimus Prime.
I will say this before I read any of this. Of the two movies, the Snyder Cut and the Godzilla movie, the one that keeps going back through my mind more is Godzilla, and
good.
it's the fights between him and
They
Kong.
were amazing.
Particularly the fight where he and Kong like almost snuff each other out before the big bad fight at the end. Like
Yeah,
the
in Hong
preview.
Kong, what Godzilla
Kong's
crawling
shoulder
on all
goes out.
fours.
That was it.
I've never seen that before
It's
in a
one of
movie.
the
And
best
I
things
wanted
I've
it
seen,
so bad.
and he fucks Kong up.
Yeah, he does.
Bad. And that's what I wanted to see. I consider him to be like the bigger predator. And
Yes.
I saw people talking about like, what do you mean, a giant like alligator, a giant gorilla? Gorilla wins every time. And I was like, I don't know that Godzilla is an alligator, and I feel like he's extremely more powerful than Kong.
He's also
regardless of-
intelligent.
Also I like him better, and I'm just
Yeah.
rooting for him. So anyway, so that's still to this day the thing I want to go back and look at again are those fights.
Last 20 minutes worth
Yes,
it. Yep.
100%. Not to shit on the Snyder Cut, but there's not any part of it I want to go back and watch.
I've already seen it twice. Go ahead.
But that's 8 hours of that.
I'm going to
Okay.
see it a third time this week.
Well, okay. So anyway,
Can I come?
so here's my notes about Godzilla. First note: what the fuck is with the fucking music in this movie? What is with like those Beatles songs and classic rock that they play when you see Godzilla swimming across the water? That's like Good Morning Vietnam. It's
So I didn't hate it, but weird choice.
a weird choice.
I didn't hate it,
It's
though.
a very
but-
weird flex.
Did anybody else want, like, when Godzilla and Kong first fought themselves
That
on
rap
the
song?
boat? I kind of wanted, like, a hardcore rap song to kick in,
Yeah,
like
the
a
one
Run
from
the
the
Jewels
preview.
song. Right when he punches, like, drop the bass, like, ugh.
Yeah.
It would have been way better than that AM Gold shit that they played when every time, like at the end of the movie when Godzilla swims off and you hear that like flowery 70s pop. I was like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, it just to me didn't stick.
When are the movies set? When was this?
Now.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's like something
Okay.
you would see at the end of Forrest Gump, like that kind of
Yeah.
music. Anyway, so that was weird to me.
They
Second,
played My Girl. Yeah.
I got to say, and I apologize, but this is possibly, and now that I've looked back on it, I would change possibly to easily the worst dialogue I've ever seen in a movie. The speaking parts are so poorly written.
I don't know if I could agree with that, but go
It
ahead.
makes Fast and Furious and 50 Shades of Grey look like Shawshank Redemption. I mean, it absolutely makes like
I know-
Toxic Avenger look like Shakespeare. It's the speaking, the human parts of the storyline. They should have just not had humans in this movie. It
I
wouldn't have made
agree.
any difference.
It would have been much better.
The actors now were good.
Mm-hmm.
The actual performances by the actors were well. Like, so as much as sometimes I want to strangle Millie Bobby Brown, she did a good job in this movie.
I
she
said the same thing to Livy
she
after.
acted well. It's just that what was written, the dialogue.
Also, her character in that group literally did nothing
Nope.
in the film. They
nothing.
affected nothing.
They were terrible. She was the only good part of that group. It wasn't good at all.
Nah, Kyle Chandler's great.
Fuck all of you, dude. Paperboy. Come on.
Man,
The podcaster, Paperboy from Atlanta, Donald Glover's TV show, he was fucking rad.
Dude, fucking every speaking part in this movie was absolutely garbage.
You mean you didn't like it when Rebecca Hall said,
Kong bows to no one.
Yeah.
It was almost as bad as the speech Ben Affleck makes in Justice League. We'll
talk about that.
We'll get to that.
You bastard.
You and I have already talked about it, and I sent her a video of it. But listen. The thing is, I love her.
I'm the only one he didn't tell about it.
Dude.
oh, we didn't talk much.
Well, I've been telling him at band practice, but I love her too. That actress, I love her. She was in what's the movie we keep talking about on Amazon Prime, the weird one, Above the Dome or whatever.
Under the Dome?
No.
She's in a great
Above the
ghost
Loop.
movie.
Tales from the Loop.
Tales from the Loop.
She was the main actress in that, and super fucking good, and super creepy and weird, very Hereditary kind of a vibe. Really good. And to see her just absolutely speak these parts in Godzilla was painful. The monster fights are really good, but the movie suffers so badly from a lack of exposition and build up.
It's exactly what I said.
What the fuck was that whole Middle Earth shit? Anyway,
I love the Hollow Earth stuff.
No, I mean we both
I liked
love it too,
looking
but
at it, but it made no fucking sense. It had no exposition. There was no explanation of it. It was not referential at all. And like the part where he just like finds that axe and then sits on that throne like he knows what to do, weak.
Here's the thing. No, agreed. The amount of exposition that was done for any of the new content like that or Mechagodzilla in this film all comes literally from the credits of the last movie, which is that's not how you write a film.
It's not. No. I mean, obviously they were there to please the core fan base, which it probably obviously it did. But for anybody that's just
But I
going,
wanted more,
hey,
too.
Well, they kind of shit on the general audience, by doing that. They go, if you're a lifelong Kong fan, you'll get it, or a lifelong Godzilla fan. But if you're just a moviegoer that wants to be entertained, you're fucked. And then
That's why I didn't watch it.
and you would have been disappointed, I think. But like the only part that didn't feel generic was the little girl.
She was amazing.
I thought not only did she do very well, but she also was shot very well. Like those scenes actually.
She acted better than anybody else in the film.
So I did enjoy the nod to the old Godzilla movie where Kong chokes him
With the giant
axe,
stick. Yeah.
Because in the old one when he's choking him with that tree, and it's funny. It's so funny. In this one when he chokes him with the axe, I was like, oh, I know what that is.
And also like the nets carrying him because they couldn't use the boat anymore. Like that's from the old movie.
Okay. And then, so I love that. And then I think the best thing in this movie, we talked about, obviously the fights are the thing, but the silence during the fights. If you go back and watch this, notice all the background music stops during the fights. And it adds this incredible tension, and it works.
Yeah.
It really, really, really works. So if you just want to see, I'd recommend to anybody that's, I give this like
I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. That's what I gave it.
I'd give it a
2.
no, because the fights are that good.
Agreed.
But if you want there to be any movie at all, if you want there to be any story, any development, like I said, anything referential, it's not there. So just like an average person that's looking for a good movie, maybe a pass. If you want to see big shit fighting each other, this is your movie. I'd give it a 3, maybe, but that's just from me. But when anybody that goes to watch it, I'd recommend anytime you see a human on the screen, just fast forward through it until you see the big stuff, then pause and sit back and eat your popcorn.
I honestly think from the stakes and execution and everything else that this movie was, like we've all said plenty of times, super cool. I think it would have been a better part 2. Like I think granted they're going to make more because money now, but as a potential franchise ender, which it was, it just wet fart everywhere.
Like I think it would have literally been effective if there was no speaking. If you just saw people running and maybe
Kong's
looking.
story was the best one. Like his emotion and like wanting to find his family and all that stuff. And even though they use subtitles because he signs in the film. But that stuff worked gangbusters for me versus, and I love these actors too, but like we said, I was like, I like the ideas, but there's zero storytelling happening.
I kept picturing like a graphic novel with no word bubbles.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would have been visually incredible with just sounds, music, and no dialogue. But the dialogue was fucking
because the way they emoted with each other, like when every time Godzilla would look at Kong after a fight, whether it be after the boat fight in the fire or after and at the very end when he goes back into the ocean, both times it was very much like, look, I really don't have any beef with you. Like, I've sensed you here all this time. I got no beef with you, but don't fuck with me. Yeah. Like, I've showed you time and time again, I will kill you. And that's what that, like, roar was at the end. And everyone, like, stopped and looked, and Kong got up and was, like, ready to fight again. And Godzilla's like, no, we're not going to fight. But just know that like, thanks for helping me with that guy because I needed it, but I still can't kill you. I'm still number one.
Yeah.
Now go back to your fucking island.
Watching Mechagodzilla just whip Godzilla's ass for 5 minutes straight, just like pick him up and throw him into buildings and kick him in the face over and over again. I didn't expect to enjoy that as much as I did. I wanted more of that. Just
I wanted to see Godzilla do a little better against him. Like he fucked Godzilla up.
But it was great. You never see that. Like, I love Godzilla to death, but like I wasn't joking. I've daydreamed since like middle school about the idea of Godzilla walking on all fours just because it's weird looking. He does in this movie, and then he beats the shit out of Kong because of it, and then he gets his shit pushed in by robot version.
I really liked that they didn't kill Kong. Because at the end of that, if Godzilla would come up and somehow killed Kong, or if Kong would have died, I think I would have been like, I fucking hate this movie. Because there would have been nothing redeeming about it if they didn't, at the end, go, all right, we can both coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say something in a recent episode that said one of them was going to die, even though they were
Well,
like...
people were theorizing.
I was very certain that Kong was going to die, and it
Okay.
was going to be like this heartfelt thing. But once you start watching the movie and seeing how Kong fights Godzilla and getting to that final fight, and you think, oh, Mechagodzilla is going to kill Kong and it's going to be sad, I was like, this will ruin the movie if they do that. Like, it's not until you're watching it you're like, no, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. And then Godzilla lights up that fucking axe and Kong tears Mechagodzilla apart with which, by the way, the blade of that axe was a piece of Godzilla's spine, or a part of that, like the spine
His
of that
dorsal
monster.
spikes. Yeah.
So,
resourceful.
and then he just like chopped him up and then ripped his head out and roared, and I was like, fuck yeah. Like
Wow.
oh God.
Are you ready for some current news? Don't have the blues, I've got the news. It's some information you can use. Anyway, this week on Beacon House News, children's author Beverly Cleary dies at 104. Her books have sold 91 million copies, including beloved characters such as Henry Huggins and Ramona Quimby. Studies indicate that the octopus likely dreams the same way mammals do, except that it, changes colors while doing so. Sex trafficking crimes brought against Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. The indictment added a sex trafficking conspiracy and a sex trafficking charge against the 59-year-old former girlfriend of the now-dead Jeffrey Epstein. German prosecutors said Wednesday they have dropped an investigation of a 95-year-old former Nazi guard after he declined to be questioned following his deportation from East Tennessee. He is in custody in Germany. The U.S. leads the world in COVID vaccinations with over 153 million doses administered. Yet, new cases in the U.S. have risen 17% the past week, now averaging almost 66,000 per day, with daily deaths hovering around 1,000. Caseloads increased in 25 states over the past week. Experts warn of a fourth wave of coronavirus while the world races towards vaccination. And that's all the news this week on Beacon House. Have a good time.
And speaking of empty spectacle, except that it's not and has biblical parallels, there's another movie we need to talk about.
Hey,
Snyder Cut.
Yep.
go.
It's everything that I wanted times 10 because it was better than I ever could have expected.
I will watch another 4-hour Snyder movie whenever he releases one.
It delivered on all the promises, delivered more than it promised, and the biblical parallels are Superman is Jesus, Batman is the centurion, kind of in BVS, but the big thing is Batman is Saul from the Bible because of his character arc from BVS through this movie.
Ben
which makes him
Affleck is
Paul.
Saul from the Bible.
Saul to Paul. Yeah. A fearful hunter of men that kills and murders wantonly, looking for these meta-humans to destroy and trying to kill the Messiah to end this alien plague, and then sees this Messiah figure sacrifice himself for the betterment of mankind and goes, oh, I done fucked up a little bit. I'm going to try to use his example to save the world and like spread the gospel. And then he like goes about getting more metahumans together to tell people the good news of Superman. It's all there.
It's not. I mean, it's not identical, but it's.
Yeah, but the parallels are there. Like Zack Snyder has incorporated that stuff into his DC movies from day one, and he's honest about it. He hasn't confirmed that. I could be way in the weeds there, but it's what I see, knowing that he does that all over the place.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Also, that speech he gives where he says, I don't care how many demons he's
Fuck
fought and
you.
how many hells.
Fuck you.
He's never fought us.
Fuck you.
Not us united.
The moment,
I wept in my pants and in my face.
Oh my god!
the moment he said that, I went, "That's what Spencer hated." He said it, and I was like, "Badass," but that's what Spencer hated.
I
Definitely,
literally
100%.
made a video and sent it to her.
He did, and I was like, "Why is this the dumbest shit I've ever seen?"
Now, I will
Sorry.
say one of the things that you said before we even recorded a week ago is the slow mo. You told her not to watch it because she hates slow mo.
No,
don't-
I've been encouraging her to watch it so she would at least have an opinion. But like, no, seriously. But she complained about Wonder Woman for having too much slow mo, and I was like, if you thought that was a lot of slow mo, this not only is it 4 hours long, but it's in slow motion.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Hold on a second. I
feels
would
like a week.
I would like to take a second to defend myself. I don't not like slow mo. Slow mo's fine.
Sure.
Overuse of slow mo, especially in fight scenes, pisses me off.
Now, what if it's slow mo in a fight scene to interpret how fast the person's moving, like the Flash?
That's fine.
Because that's all most of the slow mo in the second half is the Flash. In the first 45 minutes, Wonder Woman has a lot of slow mo, but it's also because
She's
she
moving
starts
fast.
deflecting bullets with her fists, and it goes into slow motion to show how she's fucking doing it.
Okay.
Because she's she's running across
I'm
a
gonna keep
line
my
of
opinions
people.
to myself.
She's running across a line of people going ding 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 ding, like
That's
doing
great.
that, and
But
I
if
was
you-
like,
if you know
"Fuck,
anything-
finally they
hold
show
on.
Wonder Woman's full potential,"
But if you know anything about Wonder Woman from any of the animated movies,
which we do.
okay, yeah, great. You didn't need that.
I mean,
Yeah, but it was great,
whenever
though.
you're
It was so good, though.
well, and I would call bullshit because whenever you're watching a cartoon, it's easy to get away with it not using slow mo in cartoons because why would you fucking draw in slow motion? That's just dumb. But when you're showing a real human
fair.
doing something that's super
I
heroic
just-
and they have to slow it down so your human eyes can perceive it, maybe you're wrong.
What do your
Can't.
human eyes see?
Can't do it. I see that I didn't
Not
waste,
Wonder Woman being a badass.
that I didn't waste 4 hours watching it.
Dude, you got the
what I
Jared
see.
Leto Joker laugh down
Yeah,
to like
listen.
a T.
I got,
Au
got notes
contraire,
about
little
that.
fish stick.
Finish what you're gonna say. Are you done?
I'm basically done. Yeah, I'm
Shit.
trying to be quick about it.
No,
but
you're just like it's good. I loved it.
yeah.
Do
I
you
don't
have
know
any qualms with it at all? Was there anything about it you took issue with?
two minor gripes. One, I thought the humor in this one way better than theatrical film. Still thought some of it could have been cut, but that's a minor
Like the
gripe.
stuff with the Flash.
Yeah, like not all of that worked for me, but most of it did. The other one, which is super minor gripe, it's fanboy gripe, also based on facts though. The ending is very different from what it was going to be. Not the nightmare stuff, but the after he wakes up.
The epilogue.
Yeah, super cool. I love seeing Martian Manhunter show up and be like, I've got a stake in this world. It's time I start fighting for it too. Fly away.
I could have been somebody.
Yeah.
I've got
But
a job at a deli in New York.
that was originally supposed to be Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern. And we already got Martian Manhunter in the middle of the movie. So when they cut to that and Bat Baby sat up, I was like, they're going to do it. There's going to be a green glow. And then there was no green glow and no green glow. And I was like, what are they? And then I saw Martian Manhunter. I went, oh.
Why did they not do Jon Stewart? Did they not have a casting for it?
Because HBO Max, it's what I've heard, it makes sense. They are working on a Green Lantern show. And I think it was the one thing they were like, don't conflate those, even though
You're gonna
it's
have
its
to
own
add them
continuity.
together.
Yeah.
Especially after everyone's like restore the Snyder Cut. HBO Max is gonna be like, fuck. Now we have to do Green Lantern, but Snyder Cut version.
Yeah. Oh, to all three Beacon House viewers that are part of the Snyder Cut fandom that review bombed Godzilla vs. Kong, get your head out of your ass.
Wasn't there some big cameo that like?
It's Martian Manhunter. Fucking let down.
Yeah.
They're not real.
I mean,
thrilled.
I would have been excited about that.
Would you?
I like Martian.
He was used amazing.
I've always wanted a John Jones Martian Manhunter movie, and
Well, and the thing is they show Martha with red eyes in the trailer, and you're like, of course that's fucking. That's Martian Manhunter. That's not a cameo then because
Yeah.
you showed him in the trailer.
yeah, okay. So
And then
Can't
they're
be the
like,
Joker because he's also in the trailer.
Well, you know, if you watch the Wonder Woman series on Netflix, like you get Martian Manhunter every week.
You mean
Never
He's
Supergirl?
lying to you. He's lying to you.
Supergirl. That's what I meant. Sorry, crap. Anyway, okay, let me give you mine here, and don't hate me on this.
You
This
would
is-
have loved Martian Manhunter in the film. He's in like
I probably would
3
have.
minutes of it.
I liked who they picked as Martian Manhunter.
He's so good.
Yeah.
It did. He looked cool. He did
Yeah.
look cool. Okay, now humor me. These are notes from March 22nd. Okay, so it's been a minute since I saw it, and this was my first reaction.
Not us united.
Okay, listen, stop it. That was terrible. You can lie to yourself.
Demons.
It was fucking bad. So, okay. My notes about the new Justice League Snyder Cut. I think it was the best DC movie since Dark Knight.
Agreed.
I believe that Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa actually saved the movie. I probably wouldn't hate Aquaman as much if they portrayed him this way. But when the strongest when the strongest acting performances in a movie are Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, you're off to a rough start. Okay. Okay. Second thing, really bad CGI.
It's not bad.
Really bad.
It's not bad.
At the beginning of the movie, okay, it gets better in the second half. But in the first part of the movie, the whole Amazon fight scenes, all the Amazon fight scenes were comical. They looked so bad. And when Wonder Woman is like in high heels in that little pantsuit, but she's like dropping down into that cave, and her knees don't even bend when she lands. Like it looks like you took a color form and just moved it. It was terrible.
I have a note on that when you're done.
Okay. Really bad CGI, at least in the first half of the movie. Like, not just to the point where I go, I don't buy it, but to where I was like, I laughed out loud. It was terrible. The Flash story, I thought was cheesy, but cute. And they overdid his comic portrayal. Like, they didn't need to push him that much to just be like, hey, wow, hey, guys, I'm the comic relief. I'm the token white guy that's little and blah, blah, blah. But, like...
Bruce Wayne's the token white guy.
Yeah. Anyway, sure he is.
Jesus.
But he worked. The Flash's story arc worked. Barely. But they did make it stick. They stuck the landing.
You love that ending,
It was
didn't
a
you?
rocky... Listen, I thought the Cyborg arc was really good. And it added exposition to the story, which was very badly needed. It was good. And the guy that played his dad, Joe Morton, is also just one of my favorite actors.
He's amazing anytime he does anything.
Yes, particularly the movie Crossroads. If you've never seen that, he plays like the devil's henchman, and that it's phenomenal. Movie definitely picks up in the second half.
Agreed.
Thank God, because it's, in my opinion, if they're going to make a movie this long, the movie was too fucking long. It should have been cut into like a 6-part series on HBO Max or something.
They tried that.
Okay.
Contracts.
So I can see now why.
It was legally bound.
At least they thought of it, because it would have been better. My favorite scene in the entire movie was when the Flash tries to run by Superman, like when he comes back and he's all shitty.
Yep.
And Superman, normally when the Flash is running, I'm talking to Frying Pan now, like everything else stops.
Yeah.
And you see him running
Which is
by.
what they do with Quicksilver.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they didn't do it as well as the scene with Quicksilver. But that may just be because I like that guy. Who's the guy that played Quicksilver?
Evan Peters.
Peter
I
Evans.
fucking love
Love
it. I love Evan
Peters.
Peters.
Big
He's
Evan
an
Peters
overrated
fan.
hack.
You
Go ahead.
mean what's his fucking name in WandaVision?
Ralph Boner?
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner. So,
Dick.
Boner.
but usually when the Flash is running, you
Boner.
just see like keys suspended in the air, and he can like look around, and very much like the Quicksilver scene. But in this one, he tries to run past Superman, and Superman's head turns. Like, he's as fast as the Flash, and it was so menacing.
on his face.
The look on his face. Look on both of their faces. Like, Superman's like, "Oh, bitch, I got you," and he was just like, "Wet my little red suit."
Flash trips.
Doesn't Ezra Miller play the Flash?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Ezra Miller.
It was good.
He's amazing.
That part was really, really good. And that gave the Flash something to really live up to. Also, he had a really important part in the story. I love the fact that there were only like 7 characters to keep up with on the team instead of like 80 with fucking the Avengers.
Yeah, the pedestrians. We talked about this. So, like, seeing these big epic heroes all pile into the back of a
Loading
van.
the back of a
That's the
van.
stuff as a comic fan I live for.
That was
I love
exactly, and it made me feel like I was actually watching one of those like really, I don't know, like one of those movies. It's like The Lost Boys or Big Trouble in Little China, where you've got a core group of people. They're all super important, but it's not so many people you can't keep up with the story arcs. Like, you had 4 people going through some shit, and they were all iconic. Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, like it was really big.
Ben Affleck, you can say it.
He's a great Batman.
Thank
I
you.
don't-
Speaking of my next note, Affleck is awful.
Bull.
Ben Affleck is so terrible. He is still terrible. They didn't improve him at all. The I don't care how many demons he's fought part was so bad, I almost stopped watching the movie. Like, I literally almost turned it off, and I was like, I almost went, I can't go on. Like, it makes
I cried.
I'm getting dumber watching this. Like, this is going to affect me. Like, I'm not going to be able to have kids one day or something. Like, it was so fucking bad. I hate Affleck as fucking Batman. Steppenwolf,
Amazing.
terrible villain.
I can't believe that you.
Listen
Sorry.
to this. You know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, sorry.
I already
got
leaked. I leaked this information to Hunter. Steppenwolf. I actually think, and I know I'm the only guy on Earth,
You are.
but I actually think he looks worse than in the first movie in this one.
What the? what the fuck?
Yes. I thought
Why aren't you filming?
I thought his outfit
can't
looked
remember.
so stupid, and it was so like. I know it was supposed to be like active armor, but it was such obvious bad CGI. It
It was brushed steel. It's not bad
Sure it
CGI.
was.
It's reflective of the
It looked like
environment
he was
around
wearing a pile of glitter, and his face up close looked like the graphics from the 1995 Tomb Raider game. It was all smashed
You
up.
about to prove him wrong, Casey?
It was terrible.
No, it's just, how did you like the original? His like suit of armor, and he looked like a fucking idiot.
I think it's because he looked tangible. The new one looks like total video game graphic.
The old one looks like total video.
That's
game.
what it is. He doesn't like. Okay,
no, he doesn't
God,
like video games.
I realize I'm in the minority, but I thought he looked way dumber in this one, and I'm glad he got beheaded.
be careful. Godzilla might come after you.
Whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Because he's a minority.
Yeah.
His face and Steppenwolf's face in this new movie looked so stupid that I
Like a
don't-
turtle's butt.
Dude, it was just look
Look
at
like
it.
a
There's no
turtle's
dimension.
butthole.
It looks like the graphics department took a week off and
Have
let
you,
their
ever,
children.
have you ever seen a turtle's butthole in real life?
No, but I would
You saw the
imagine.
Snyder Cut. You have.
Yeah, I imagine
It's
it looks
exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
Wait, are these
good
the
to know.
two differences?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better? Don't tell her which one it is.
Now,
which one do you like
you have
better?
to see them moving
No,
No, you don't.
I would like to see them moving.
Sure, but which one do you like better? Just looking at it.
because the new one, its costume always goes like this.
Stop it. Stop
You
it.
don't like the sparklies?
It's
See, Midnight Sparkles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
liked
the
it.
one on the left, Fry, the one on the left that looks like
yeah.
a suit of armor is the dumbest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
see. So the fact that she likes the new one because it's sparkly proves my point.
Oh my god, it's not because it's sparkly. I was asking if you didn't like it because it's sparkly. It sounds like you're anti-sparkly.
You guys can you guys can like glitter. It's okay. So
I love glitter.
moving
I
on.
fucking love the herpes of arts and crafts.
Thank
It gets everywhere.
Martin. Oh my god.
Moving on.
Sorry.
Darkseid looked as bad as Steppenwolf looked in this movie. Darkseid looked fucking great. I'm sad that he only had such a small part, but I looked forward to more of that. I was hoping he would.
They restore the Snyderverse.
I hope so. I thank God that they actually had a real actor in this movie with William Dafoe. Even if
Did
it
you
was
say
only
William?
He did.
Willem.
Willem.
Well, whatever.
It's too late. You done fucked up.
You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this part. I'm sorry.
You
but
don't like
this
Jared
is-
Leto's Joker?
Jared Leto's Joker fucking sucks. Period. It's the weakest Joker of all the Jokers in history, even all the way back to the first one.
Cesar Romero?
Cesar Romero. This is way worse. Since given the Oscar-worthy performances that Jared Leto has,
Did you smoke before you came in here?
listen, dickface. Given Jared Leto's recent Oscar-worthy performances that he's done, we know Jared Leto's a good actor, which transcended genre boundaries. It's a disgrace to drag this turd back onto the screen, even if he does get to meet Ben Affleck's Batman for the first time. His Joker.
fucking kill you.
If you remember any Joker in the past and then put him against Jared Leto's Joker, it's a disgrace. I wish they would just let the character die or resurrect it properly. But you've got to.
better than Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Cesar Romero. If you look at the people they've played and how they've played, not to mention the recent Joker movie, think that, and then think Jared Leto's Joker, where he was like, I couldn't take it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just me, but it was fucking
And when
terrible.
he brought up Robin, I got chills. I was like,
I did
you
too.
bastard. Don't talk about him. You do not talk about Jason Todd like that.
I do have one last question about Steppenwolf. So the theatrical cut, Steppenwolf, he's wearing the armor, which would be from the comics, correct? But in the Snyder cut,
He looks like a furry.
It's like his body.
Yes. Which is accurate to the comics.
That doesn't.
It's not supposed to be a helmet in the
not.
comics. In the comics, it's not a helmet. It's part of his skull. Like he has horns.
I've seen it as a suit of armor.
Yeah,
Wait, we're getting-
the way I'm seeing it is as a suit of armor.
Either way, it's not important. We're getting.
Sorry,
let me finish so Casey can go. So my overall summary is, and again, I'm just pointing out the things that jumped out at me. That's 4 hours of stuff where I didn't have problems other than the things I just mentioned. So I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was way better than the first one, obviously, and I thought it was way better than anything that DC has put out since.
Wonder Woman.
No, since
The Dark Knight,
I
you
actually
said.
like this better than Wonder Woman, even the first Wonder Woman, but the Dark Knight, and they're not going to top that. I don't think that was a movie that transcended boundaries. Like you might like some of the recent DC stuff if you're
Yeah.
a comic fan.
Sure.
Everyone in America loved the Dark Knight. It's
Yeah.
one of everyone's favorite movies.
That's because nobody knows who Batman is except Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder.
Either way,
and also-
I tend to side with the public on this one. But let me just say, I thought the movie was flawed, and overall a C+ at best. But
I'll take that from you.
But somehow it still managed to get me to buy in hard in the third act. I really, really, really liked the ending. I liked how big it was. I liked how long it was. I liked it was just it's over. But the ending, boom! There was the cat, and then they played it out. They let it settle. They took their time, and it was very, very good. Overall, I enjoyed this movie, but it was a little long for me. I do think it redeemed the Joss Whedon version. I do think it's probably going to revive the DC universe if they can stay in the cut. If they exit this new arc,
which they're still fighting to,
they're doomed again. But and I for me, that epilogue was pretty fucking weak.
Oh, I dug the epilogue.
No, so anyway, that's all. That's where I landed on the Snyder Cut.
I actually overall hated the epilogue because I just really fucking hate Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and she
her
was
showing
like,
up bothered
Wait,
me.
is she still in it?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. Especially after she cut off Johnny Depp's finger. That dumb bitch.
That's bad enough, but she pooped in his bed.
Yeah, that's where you draw. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, she's psycho. Yeah, I like the Snyder Cut. Actually, Jared Leto's Joker doesn't have the laugh. I like Jared Leto's look as the Joker, and I like when he talks as the Joker, but when he starts laughing, I'm like, yeah, you got to work on that, bud.
Jared Leto's Joker, one of the things that I love about it, which makes me think I probably actually agree with you guys, but just my brain is breaking in favor of it, based on the last movie, which was awful, and his part now, the laugh made me think of this. I find it grating and makes just like my nerves fray, and I think it's gross and just icky and like why I don't want to look at it. But because he's the Joker, I love that about it. I think it works because I don't think it works, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't think the betrayal is bad, but I think
get it.
it's so just off-putting that I dig it for that character.
So I think at the end of the day, I give Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong, I give it a 3.5, 4. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed the
On the
monster
Richter scale?
fights. I don't care about the human interaction. I've never cared about human interactions, from the Cranston to the Skull Island to King of Monsters. Like that, that was where I could go to the bathroom in those movies.
Sure.
Humans are going to be talking for the next 10 minutes. I can go take a shit now. Snyder Cut, I'd give it a C.
Sure.
Change up the ratings.
3.5.
Wait, really?
I'd give Snyder Cut a C.
That's basically a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, but I thought you really liked it.
he did.
I mean, I did, but there was the problem is that should have been broken up into a Wonder Woman movie, Batman movie, Superman and Batman. But Ben Affleck should have gotten his own Batman movie before the Snyder Cut. A better Aquaman movie, a Cyborg movie. Like, they smashed too much into it, and it's great to watch. But man,
it's why it's so long.
You're watching it going, if Zack Snyder could have had 10 years to fill this whole thing out,
it would have been amazing.
It would have been right up there with the Avengers. But it's too much content to ingest. Like, sitting here thinking about it now, I'm like, I really don't remember much. I know Zeus showed up, and Poseidon and the Greek gods fought Darkseid, and then for some reason Darkseid got hit with an axe, thrown into the ship, and then over like 100 years forgot where fucking Earth was.
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was weird.
Is he
That's a
fucking idiot?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
What, did he get amnesia from his neck wound? Like, that's
He
dumb
lost
as
so
shit.
much blood.
We found the anti-life, and it's
found the anti-life.
he's like, where is it? And he's like, it's on Earth. And he's like, yes, Earth, I remember. And it's like, oh, now you remember, you old piece of shit.
He thinks it's Earth.
Anyways, that's
I gave it a 12 out of 10.
Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I loved it. Flaws and all.
Yeah. Okay.
I've only seen it
I will-
twice.
That's what happens
dude.
when you're in a toxic relationship.
Yeah. I've been beat up by Zach so much, I'm starting to like it.
Hunter's like, wait, I still have CDs in his car. I can't just go.
He sees all the red flags and all
Yeah.
the flaws, and he's like, I still love you.
So it's Easter.
Yeah, we need
It
to.
is indeed. Let's talk about Easter.
You said you're
Easter,
upset about
everybody.
Easter.
No.
Why are you upset about Easter?
I am not.
What did Easter do
Spencer,
to you?
What
No, I
about
think
Easter
other
grind
people-
your
Where
gears?
shitting
did
on
they
Easter.
where
Did
did
I
they
say
hide
that?
the eggs?
I didn't say
In his butt, and they're stuck in there.
I've heard some.
That's why he's in a mood.
Hey, for the record, I've heard some really funny Easter. Do you guys want to hear an Easter joke?
In your
Yes.
butt.
What goes hoppity clank, hoppity clank, hoppity clank?
Your butt.
The
What?
Energizer Bunny.
What? Sorry.
The Easter Bunny with polio. What?
Dude, the anti-vaxxers are going to make that a reality soon.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
that's a fact. No. Just like I've heard some funny Easter stories.
Just think about it, Fry.
A friend of mine that I work with, who listens to the podcast a lot, Karen, who actually wants to come on and talk about serial killers. She's so into, like, when we talk about serial killers, and she was so into when you did the episode with the Sounds of Terror.
The 9/11 thing.
Yeah.
9/11.
Edmund Kemper.
All of them.
Edmund Kemper.
She's really into like serial killers like that, but she said that she would like to come on one day and she's going to compile like a list of, you can edit this out, but she's going to compile a list of like the 10 worst serial killers and why, and all, so we could talk about that.
I would love to talk.
Yeah, she's working on it. But anyway, but she was telling me she's got like a daughter, you know, and we were talking about like hiding Easter eggs and stuff. She goes, "Yeah, I used to go all over the yard and hide them." She goes, "Now I'm so tired, I just open the door and sling them out in the yard."
Wait, so
just takes the basket and throws them. Yeah, go find them. Who fucking cares? You know?
So my mom used to hide like actual eggs. Like we would color the eggs and then we would hide them. Okay, and
That's
then hold on, and then we couldn't find them. We'd be out there gardening like 2 months later, and we'd be like, "What is this?"
Look
It'd
at
be
this
like
rotten egg.
it would be like colored pieces of like shell, and we're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Was it one time my mom gave me a bunch of eggs and goes, "Go hide them." Like, and I went, or no, it became my job to hide the eggs for the first time ever, and they were hard boiled eggs.
Yeah.
And I just went around the corner and stuffed them all into the drain spout. Like they were just going up and up and up like a huge Pez dispenser.
You're a monster.
And then they got stuck, and the whole yard smelled like sulfur all summer. Also, one year we hid some like hard-boiled eggs around, and we had a little pug dog, and it found them like a week later. Found him and ate him, and that dog's farts were it drove us from our house. Like the dog would fart, and we would run out of the living room. It smelled like someone was burning a corpse.
Oh my god!
Terrible. Like the
that's so
paint would dry off the walls. It was terrible. That fucking thing kept eating those eggs outside. A little pug dog. It was terrible.
That's disgusting.
So anyway, no, like man, I mean, obviously, this time of year we get around Easter, and
That's what you hate.
it's
about
no. It's just normal to see some people on social media. There's a lot of things people use to kind of either like take a good natured jab or kind of shit on Easter. You know, like everybody talks about zombie. Hey, happy Zombie Jesus Day and blah blah blah. You know,
I have not heard that one.
You've never heard called?
No.
I mean,
say
from the
Jesus-
outside looking in, he's a zombie.
They say Jesus is a zombie. You know,
Wow.
which is again.
Brain.
That's obviously not accurate for any reason. Like a zombie, even if zombies were a real thing, that a zombie is something that's animated
They are
but
real. Go
dead.
ahead.
The idea is that Jesus came back and conquered death. But anyway, a lot of people say stuff like that. So have you guys seen any social media where people are crapping on the Easter?
Me? No.
Not at all. I haven't seen anything specifically
Nope.
that pissed me right off.
Yeah, there wasn't a specific thing that I can think of.
That was apparently a joke until that person defended that stance like they weren't joking later when they were called on their bullshit.
I feel like you've seen something.
Sans
Nah.
sarcasm, I actually haven't seen anything.
Haven't really. Well, like there's some memes where it talks about like the way we observe Easter, like that like somebody died and that like that it's basically witchcraft and
Well, aren't we celebrating a bunny who lays eggs?
I mean, that's what Americans celebrate that don't know any better. So there's that. But
I did enjoy getting an Easter basket as a child.
I did
thought it
too.
was pretty funny.
I was just with my family last night. My cousin was upset. She's like, "Am I not getting an Easter basket?" She's 20,
Dude, I actually
4
had
years old.
One of my employees.
I mean,
One of my employees is like a young mom, and I worked my fucking ass off last night to get her out of there so she could go and make an Easter basket for her daughter. And she was so excited. She was talking. She had 2 different bunnies, and she was going to put chocolate in it. And she had like a little book of like psalms she was going to put in there too. I mean, the kid's only like 2, but she had like writ to like to her from mom, and she had got this cellophane. And I was so into the idea of helping her get out of there to make this Easter basket for the kid because I remember getting Easter baskets when I was little. But anyway, what do you?
Excuse me.
What
You talk about sugar and he almost died.
Cadbury?
so what are these things that you guys are seeing?
Well, just
Go ahead, Hunter.
people just shit on Easter. But
Yeah,
I wanted to actually. If you want to provide an example, go ahead.
the example is an individual that I know that decided to talk about Easter and how, or they're specifically talking about Good Friday, and they said that this day is a day that we celebrate to remember the most popular man in the world who was a socialist and was murdered by capitalists for being a socialist and blah, blah, blah. And then hashtag Jesus is a socialist, hashtag democracy, hashtag socialism, Christians are pagans, witchy, I'm not a witch, I'm a druid, blah, blah, blah. Like, you need to pick one, because democracy and socialism are 2 different governing bodies, so decide.
That one post was an overcorrecting America right now. Just
Yeah.
like going left, right.
Yeah.
Left,
Yeah.
right.
But it drives me nuts because, like, and the whole Christians are pagans thing, like, people, again, zombie Jesus, from the outside in, I get it, but this person grew up in the faith and chose to leave it, which is their prerogative, but to then decide that you are going to pursue paganism on purpose, which again, your prerogative, and then try to retroactively say that Christianity is just closet paganism because we're polytheistic, and we're polytheistic because you want to intentionally misconstrue what the Trinity is, even though you know better. And then when people that you know and love, which was not me because I'm not on social media, I was just made aware of this thing, call you on it, to come back the next day and go, well, clearly I was joking, guys. Can't you tell that I'm joking? But if you look at the history, Jesus was a socialist and blah, 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 blah. Like, that is what Spencer's talking about. This is a specific example that I have. But people do that every year. They, like, find this joy that I guess Christians are having, specifically in this case. They're like, they do the same thing for Christmas, I've been noticing too. And they just, like, take whatever thing that they like that they think these people won't like, and then just like wedge it in there and just grab your face and just smush it and like laugh. And then if anybody goes, I don't think you understand the point, this is actually blah, 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 and then they turn right around and shit on you more for having an opinion. It's more cancel culture. It's more wokeness for the sake of being woke. It's gross.
I agree with you on that, but I wanted to kind of add something. Just
rant over.
Well, no, and that's a good rant, and I agree.
Chef kiss.
I definitely agree with you on everything you said, but you know, for some people that aren't that deep into like you said, like the theology of it or the monotheism or whatever, Easter, if even whether you're religious or not, is supposed to be about like kind of a rebirth of kind. It's supposed to be about the rolling away of the stone and kind of what that symbolizes. And I think this year specifically, that means more than it has in a few years, simply because of the stone that we've been behind for the last year. With all this, I mean, my friend, a really good person who I respect a lot, his name's Chris Brewer. He works for a cymbal company in Nashville. He's a phenomenal musician. He's been a hero of mine since I was in high school. And I couldn't possibly look up to this guy more. He posted a thing today, and I just wanted to read a little bit from it. I'll try to skim through it pretty quick. But one of the first things I read today when I woke up, and this spoke to me, okay?
Us United?
He said, no, it's better than that.
We face demons.
He said, a couple days ago, I was on my daily walk at lunchtime, a walk that for the last year has been more of a friend than I realized. For the walk used to bring me all sorts of daily and frequent joys. But throughout the last year, it's been nothing more than a place for me to stop thinking. And that respite was about the best I could get out of it. Don't get me wrong. I love to stop thinking. I'm actually pretty good at it. But those walks seem to bring me more than just silence. So it was very real. My very real surprise on my walk this last Friday, Good Friday, by the way, that I found myself almost involuntarily letting go of all the complete and absolute horseshit that has polluted my heart and mind over the last year. To be clear, I have been very fortunate since March of 2020. The health of my family has remained intact. My job never quit humming along. My daughter's school was not destroyed. My daughter's school was destroyed in the middle of the night by a tornado, not the middle of the day. The list goes on and on and on. But even all those gifts haven't been enough to shield me from myself and becoming absorbed by the division and the rancor of our world, and more to the point of this country. He said, for whatever reason, like an addict who has had enough and is finally released, I felt it, knowing that I had had enough and was ready to be released from everything that honestly does not matter. I knew that to keep going, to be the best husband, father, and friend to others and myself that I couldn't do so with all these obstructions in my life, so I let them die. The symbolism of it being Good Friday was not lost on me, but that honestly didn't occur to me until after I rid myself of all that was unnecessary. He says, to experience the last spring where despite the rebirth of the flowers, the grass, the reemergence of life, I felt like I was in a weird and unexpected winter. And now to experience this spring with its communal and personal lights at the end of the tunnel has been real rolling away of the stone. Easter means more to me this year than it has in a very long time. And to reunite with my church family today in the chapel, in the nature of Centennial Park this morning, and to break bread, drink the wine, and to hear all the familiar songs played and sang in their Southern Appalachian way, to listen to the message of love for the sermon flow like poetry, and to see my daughter glow and tell me how rejuvenated she felt simply by being there, it made my letting go on Good Friday feel timely and complete. He said, happy Easter, here's to a stone being rolled away for each of you. And
man,
you got, dude, this guy's, it's Chris Brewer. But if anybody knows Chris Brewer, you know. But that's the whole point. And so if you're having an Easter and maybe your friends are shitting on it or whatever, and again, you ever have the prerogative to have an opinion, but I'll say one other thing. Easter is about, one of the biggest human conditions is the fear of death and the uncertainty of death and what happens when we go on and all that stuff. Easter is very much about overcoming death and about not having to be afraid of death and many, many things like that. It's not about zombies. It's not about science fiction. It's not about witchcraft. And just to add a personal note to that, when my mom was dying of cancer and we spent a lot of hours talking about death and are you afraid and things like that. And she very much knew. She said, she had several Bible passages she would cling to. And she said, I'm not afraid of death because God has beaten death. And there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. But she didn't say it like a person who's been brainwashed in the church for a million years. She wasn't a simple, this is a person who was facing death in a matter of weeks. And when you look into somebody's eyes like that and they have something like that to say about death, there's a certain comfort in this that maybe your young, healthy friend that doesn't have any problems on Facebook doesn't quite understand the reverence of being right in front of it. But if you are, you'll understand why Easter is such a big deal. So with that said, and I'd like to thank Chris for sharing that today on Facebook, and that's my little Easter speech.
Hey.
Happy Easter, everybody. Woo!
Oh, no.